How's it going, guys? It's FakeThriller and Snooze603. Thanks for tuning in to our newest video, and we have an interesting topic to talk about today. Less about gaming, more about YouTube and all the YouTubers that, Snoop, would you say, seem to be closing up shop?
Yeah, a lot of them either just closing up shop or they're taking very extended breaks. I don't know if it's just a matter of they've lost interest. I do know that there are some out there that are just taking a break to kind of recharge in the middle of games. Black Ops 2 doesn't seem to be as popular as everyone had hoped it would be. Still, it is popular, just not as big as previous COD titles.
It's not, well, it's not a game that's going to transcend the groups, you know? Like, everybody who's established themselves in Call of Duty is doing just fine. Like, everybody that watches YouTube for Call of Duty is doing just fine, but I think you're right. There's a huge gap right now in where the Battlefield 3 YouTube the Battlefield 3 YouTuber goes. Like, Medal of Honor flopped for us. Battlefield 3 has its expansions coming out, but that lasts for like what, a week maybe? And then
I don't know. I got about a solid month out of it on Aftermath. I loved Aftermath. I mean, I think it's still good. It's just that the game as a whole, I'm worn out on it.
Yeah, I mean, Aftermath is definitely good. I don't want to get into like the best Battlefield expansions or anything, like, but I could picture Aftermath being right in there, like back in December after Karkin came out. Like, imagine if you had Vanilla, then Karkin, then Aftermath all bundled in together, and like when everybody was really into the game, like that would have been awesome. But
yeah, at that point, now how everyone's, you know, screaming right now for more Battlefield 3 from us, that we would have had way too much really good, solid quality content to put out on a daily basis, and we still wouldn't be able to put out everything we'd want to if that happened.
So it's weird. Like, I know from our point of view, like Snoop just said, we struggle to find things to post about Battlefield 3 because the game's been out for so long, and I wonder if that's what's happening with all the different. It just feels like my sub box is so vacant. Like, there's no excitement anymore in the Battlefield 3 YouTube community. I'm not alone in that, right? Like, you feel the same way?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's kind of weird because Battlefield 3 is something I'd love to share, but rarely did I watch. I would always take the time to watch anything people specifically asked me to watch, and I would watch some videos here and there, but it's one of those I felt I was really knowledgeable on it, so tutorial-wise, which is what a lot of the people produce that we subscribe to, I just didn't want to watch. And I mean, now there's like even less than that. I like watching the really entertaining things, but aside from that, what I watch on YouTube is things I'm not good at that I want to get better at, like StarCraft 2. That's where I put all my time, invest all my YouTube time into.
Right.
So
here we are over a year later, and it's safe to say that the knowledge base is pretty much complete. Anybody, for the most part, I'd say maybe 80% of the players that still play the game right now are very aware of what does what and what goes where, and how to do this and how to do that. So I can see, like, I know personally it affects our channel as far as there's very little motivation to do any sort of tutorial videos anymore. Which makes it hard. Like, it's really hard to get onto the mic and just talk. Like, we never developed these vlog style channels where you just come in and talk about your day over Battlefield 3 gameplay. We always did very technical tips and tricks style, like tutorial style videos, and since the well has gone dry, I feel like it's hitting a lot of other channels maybe harder than us, but just that's because there's like two of us, so we can at least talk to each other.
Right. You know, and it's a twofold part and problem. The other shoe that has dropped, and very heavily, is the new YouTube changes. I mean, our numbers show it. Our numbers are down. Everyone's numbers are down, and it's tough because, like, I think where we're at right now with our growth, the amount of subscribers that we have, especially active subscribers, it's just enough to keep us floating and still keep us growing. But then you got these, like, everyone else out there that's like 5,000 subs or less. I feel bad for them because they've been kicked and kicked hard. Yep. And I mean, it's like fighting through quicksand, man. I mean, before it was standing in the middle of a large crowd and you're just trying to get your voice heard. Now, you're sitting in a big-ass pile of quicksand, and there's only one way to go. And that's, unfortunately, that's what's... You can see it. I mean, hardly anyone's even on Twitter right now. A lot of channels are closing up shop or just not posting hardly anything anymore.
It's kind of sad.
It really is. It takes a lot of the wind out of my sails for, like, my overall enthusiasm for the whole YouTube scene. And I know a lot of you guys have seen that from what I've been saying on Twitter and stuff. Like, there's just that camaraderie that we used to have with so many people is gone.
It's just, and it's not like anybody had a falling out, I would say. It's more just the fact that people have lost interest and they're just not around anymore. It's weird.
Right. It's the whole YouTube scene and, like, just all the people we talk to, just that whole environment is a shadow of its former self, and we're only talking like a year ago.
Right.
I mean, a year ago from today, it was ridiculous how many people we were starting to meet, playing with on a regular basis, just talking to across, like, all frickin' forms of social media on a daily basis. Like, it was awesome. It was a great time to be doing the whole YouTube thing because there's so many people to bounce ideas off of and talk to and play with, and now, I mean, there's no one.
Right. It's like the common bond between everybody got so weak that people started to drift away, and it kind of... I'm trying to figure out the right term. Like, I almost feel like we're being left behind, even though we're the ones still here, you know? Don't you get, like, a little vibe? Like, everyone else is like, yeah, I mean, it was fun, but maybe I'll be back when Battlefield 4 comes. Like, I've got so much vested into everything that we've done in the past year that the thought of just closing up shop is, like, scary, and the thought of everybody else leaving around me is, like, for some reason equally as scary. You'd think with everyone else closing up shop, they'd be clamoring for the supply would go up for, or I mean the demand would go up for some videos, but it's like everyone's just like, meh, yeah.
Right, and it's not even like in a negative manner either. It's just like, you know, like kind of what Chris said earlier, it's not like we had a falling out with anyone or vice versa. No one's on bad terms with anyone. It's just everyone's disinterested. Yeah. Is really what it comes down to. So, you know, again, like you said, that common nucleus that we all had, which was like Battlefield 3, or just a new game in general that everyone could enjoy, it's not there. So everyone's just kind of branching out and finding something that is good enough to pass the time until we can find that common ground again.
But it rarely like everybody's finding their own thing, and it doesn't translate to the big, like, community that we had. Don't get us wrong, we're still talking to a good number of people. But it's just, it's kind of weird. I'm sitting here thinking, like, what are we looking for out of this discussion? I think we're looking to put the thought out there and see if you guys are feeling the same way we are.
Right.
And if you've noticed a decline, or if you've lost interest yourself, or I don't know.
I guess the overall theme, from my standpoint at least, is we're not looking for an explanation as to what's going on. We're just kind of sharing our feelings as to what we're seeing going on around the community, and, you know, at least for myself, I'm lamenting what used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, like I said, it was fantastic a year ago, and right now we're all kind of in limbo. Like, no one knows what they're doing. Like, no one really has that go-to thing anymore. Like, Battlefield 3 was, for a lot of people, their go-to thing. That was the backbone of their channel, and then they'd sprinkle in some things, you know, some channels. Others were just 110% Battlefield 3, and because Medal of Honor flopped, what else do we have?
It's all Medal of Honor's fault. I swear to God,
it really is.
That was the turning point. Like, that we needed that refresher in October, and we would have been stronger than ever if we had another game that everybody was willing to jump right into, but alas, it did not happen.
Yeah, I agree. It would be nice if there was like a third company out there, you know. So, I please forgive me on this and allow me to put it as simply as possible. You know, you've got like Activision and Call of Duty, and then you've got EA and Battlefield and what used to be Medal of Honor, but moving forward, I'm sure it's not going to be there. I wish there was like a third big guy.
Yeah.
Like all the guys that used to be at Infinity Ward, like West and Zampella. I can't remember the name of the new company that's coming out.
Respawn
but like
Entertainment.
Thank you. Okay, so if Respawn Entertainment could come in and be like that third heavy hitter game that 1 year might come out the same time as all these other big titles, and then another year, just for the timing of development, everything comes out in between major titles. Like, I wish there was that third company that had that big blockbuster game that everyone looked forward to, so that it wasn't just, okay, well, it's either Call of Duty or Battlefield.
And they both come out within a month of each other.
Right.
So, well, guys, do us a favor and let us know what you think about what we've discussed in this commentary. Sort of let us know your thoughts, if you feel the same way, or if, I don't know, if you even noticed. So, do you have anything else to say, Sir Snoov?
No, that's all I have to say, sir.
I want to go kick your ass in trials.
Ooh, bring it.
All right, guys, peace out.